2 days ago, I put out this video discussing people getting banned inside of Diablo Immortal for the use of Backbone. Someone reached out to me from my community and told me about his experience with his wife playing for only 2 weeks, getting banned, and it was because of an unknown reason. The only thing that he could think of was Backbone. I dove into Reddit, looked at a lot of other people who were complaining about being banned for utilizing the Backbone inside of the game. I talked about how I was sent a Backbone controller from Blizzard and that it was something that's supported. And when we actually go ahead and when we look at their list of supported devices, Backbone is on there, including all of these other controllers of sorts. Now, it's a little silly to me that there would be controllers that aren't supported, but for whatever reason, there are some. Now, this brings up a bigger discussion that I want to go over today, and that is honesty. And this is not specifically about anyone that's reached out to me privately. This is nothing about that, so I don't want anyone to take any offense here. But we think about controller use, and there are some unallowed controllers that are not able to be used inside of the game. And if you use it, you could get yourself a ban for it. Maybe, possibly, who even knows? Actually, when we take a look at what this comment right here that I missed in the previous Reddit from Pez Radar, he's like the man for Diablo Immortal. Backbone controllers are supported for Diablo Immortal, and the hardware and use of the hardware does not lead to any disciplinary action on accounts. It is absolutely safe and 100% fine to use these controllers. I use one myself, he even says. Now, it was also brought up in the discussion in the previous video about utilizing other apps while playing Diablo Immortal. I don't have anything specific to that, but when you think of it, you swipe out of the game, you jump on Discord for a conversation, or you're watching a YouTube video in the corner as you play. These could be maybe mistaken as overlays inside of the game and thought of some third-party programs that help you cheat in the game. I'm not sure, but that's not really what this is about today. So when you get the ban inside of Diablo Immortal, you get hit up with the ban and it comes through and says you have been banned from playing the game, and it doesn't really give you a reason. It kind of says a very generic reason as to why that ban's actually happened. Well, it's very easy for someone that uses a controller to blame the controller for the ban, even if maybe possibly in some alternative realm there's another reason for the ban as well that could be going on at the same time. This brings me specifically to the thought of AFK farming. Have you ever gone and seen people that are just standing in one place for an hour and attacking, farming? They very well could be sitting there holding down the button. There's nothing wrong with that, right? If they're just sitting there holding the button. But what happens if their controller is plugged into the game and they tape down the button, or they put something on top of the button, and then they're just walking away and letting the game play for hours? Is that getting a benefit out of the game? Are they really getting that much experience where it's going to hurt inside of the game? Is that against terms of service inside of the game? Well, it brings me to that whole controller reason. AFK farming, I believe, is not tolerated, and I think that it's something like spooning. If you remember, we spoke of spooning when the game launched. People were putting a spoon on top of their phone, and that was activating the attack button, and they were just sitting in the library as Zoltan Cool, and they were farming without being there. People were getting banned for that. AFK farming is not something that Diablo Immortal wants to happen inside of the game. They want players to have to play the game. That's why it doesn't have an autoplay feature. Should it have an autoplay feature so you could farm all day long without actually playing the game? I know that a lot of us don't want autoplay. So people maybe are making up their own autoplay feature by plugging in a controller and then throwing something on top of it or taping it down so that it can actually auto farm. If this happens and those players are then banned, it's very easy for someone to say, oh, I got banned for using a controller, when maybe they were doing something with that controller that was illegal inside of the game or not warranted, or just against terms of service. Now, this brings up a whole nother discussion. I know that there's going to be a large community of people that at this point say, Diablo Immortal costs so much money to play, it's so pay to win, and there's illegal farming of gems, there's people buying accounts, breaking terms of service. Why aren't they getting banned, but we are getting banned for using a controller? That's come up in comments before. And the way you look at it is, whether you agree with them or not, there are the rules, there's terms of service, and they could all be enforced at any point in time, right? Whether it's good or bad, whether you like it or whether you don't. And I know that's gonna come up, and that's cool. That's another discussion for another day. But if people are utilizing controllers to do something that is not warranted or allowed inside of the game, it's easy to say, oh, I was using a controller, I got banned for that, instead of saying what you were doing while you were using the controller. I'm assuming that there has to be some way for the system that monitors this stuff to notice if someone is standing in the same spot inside of the game and attacking for an extensive amount of time. And that would be a flag that something is going on. Or maybe they check on all controller use players to see if something like that is going on, if they've been stationary for a certain amount of time while attacking. Is that a sign that AFK farming is going on? And I'm just using AFK farming as an example. This could very well happen with other things inside of the game as well. I don't know. I don't know what else it could be. And to be honest with you, I actually don't like using the backbone or even a controller. I've never used the backbone in Diablo Immortal, but I did when I got the backbone from Blizzard. I hooked it up and I saw the whole interface and I was playing stuff. I didn't play Diablo Immortal with it and I didn't really like it. It reminded me of an old school like handheld device, which I didn't like. And even when I go on my controller, I don't have the control that I want to have, like when I'm on the glass of the screen. And even when I'm on PC, I'm just not used to playing on PC, so my control isn't there as good. I prefer playing on the glass. So I just wanted to make the point here and apologize that I didn't read through the whole thing and I didn't get to see this right here, that it's confirmed by the community manager here of Diablo overall that it's not the backbone, that it's 100% safe and fine to use and that he uses it himself. If I would have scrolled down, it would have been a different tone, I guess, inside of that video. Either way, what are your thoughts? Do you think that Blizzard is going a little crazy, banning people for controller use? Or do you think that there's actually reason behind it and people are going out of bounds with the controller use and trying to gain an advantage inside of the game? This can happen in many different ways. Feel free to, in the comment section below, let me know of ways that you've seen this type of stuff happen inside of the game. You never know, I could revisit it, talk about it in another video or something. Really curious to what you guys have to say. And it's nice to know that we're getting some responses like this from the Blizzard team. A lot of people have said they get the ban and they get nothing. They can't hear anything. They get no voice. They're not heard, which is true. Every single ban can't come with a detailed explanation, etc. But at least we get stuff coming through on Reddit. At least we see it maybe in some interviews in the future. That would be kind of cool as well. Either way, what are your thoughts? I'll be looking down below.